What is going on, guys? I know usually you see me on YouTube Shorts doing Taekwondo stuff, but as of right now, I kind of wanted to switch up the channel a bit. I got more interest in wrestling, UFC, anime, gaming, stuff like that. So I thought, why not add that to the channel and see how you guys like it? So today in this video, what we're really going to be going over is the Royal Rumble that just passed this weekend. So I'm pretty much just going to be going in the same order as the actual event itself. So we'll start with the Women's Royal Rumble. What's really interesting to me is seeing that Liv actually eliminated Raquel, kind of turning that dynamic on the Judgment Day. Considering that you can kind of tell she wanted to turn on Judgment Day on her time off when you've seen Roxanne kind of flirting with Dom. Kind of gives that interesting back and forth storyline I kind of find interesting. So I'm kind of, interested to see where they're going to go with that. As for someone that stood out for me in the Women's Royal Rumble, it had to be Sol Ruca 100% for me. Just because every time I seen her, especially starting just from her entrance alone, right away it was right on the top rope, front flip, and a double clothesline, which really stood out to me because most of the women in the match, they kind of ran in, got into the ring, did their own thing. With her, it was like right away athleticism, right away doing flips. It was really fun just seeing how she was going around the ring and doing little things throughout the match. There was also another part of the match I enjoyed with her. She was on the outskirts of the ring, almost getting eliminated, and then Bailey kind of wanted to, hit her out of the ring. But then you seen her do almost like a handstand and jump back. All the dodging and weaving I really enjoyed as well from her. Not to mention, when you see her special, the Sol Snatcher, props to her, man, because I don't understand how she does it, doing essentially a front flip, but almost like an RKO in a sense. You can kind of say it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but just seeing those two connected together, I don't know how she pulls it off. Maybe it's, the person she's doing it on as well, plus her, but just seeing how that's done and how quick and snappy it is, it kind of boggles my mind. But it's pretty interesting seeing that kind of finisher because I haven't really seen a finisher like that in I don't know how long. But all in all, with Sol Ruca, hopefully she becomes on the main roster. I would like to see her more, but if she's on NXT, I believe, I could be wrong, but if she's on NXT, I might have to actually start watching NXT myself because I kind of want to see how she progresses in her career because it is pretty interesting. But all in all, for me, during the Women's Royal Rumble, she did stand out, especially just because of her athleticism. Another thing that stood out to me this event was just how Rhea Ripley was eliminated. I get it, she got taken out by Raquel, but it was kind of worrisome just for me because the way she fell on her back out of the ring and onto the ground, it didn't really look like she was selling it. It actually looked like she was hurt, so it was kind of it's pretty rough. And I was like, man, I hope she's not out for X amount of time because I do enjoy seeing her wrestle and all of her stuff she's done over the years. The next thing we're going to talk about briefly is just Gunther and AJ Styles. AJ Styles lost to Gunther in the event, so naturally he had to retire due to conditions that were agreed upon. It's, in my opinion, I don't like it. I'm a fan of AJ. I get it, Gunther is retiring people left, right, and center, but for me, seeing John Cena gone by him and then seeing AJ Styles gone by Gunther kind of just sucks, because both of them I really enjoyed watching, especially AJ and TNA back in the day. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of I get it. You want the heel and all that stuff, but it's oh man, other one gone. You know what I mean? Hopefully Gunther stops soon, but who knows? Maybe he'll, I'll finally like him more. I can kind of get the gimmick. I get that. But for me personally, it's man, every legend I'm seeing right now is gone from Gunther. So it's what's next? Is he going to go after Randy Orton? Hopefully not, because Randy's pretty crazy. So I'd rather not, he's kind of going for a big one at that point, right? But we'll see what happens as weeks go on. I'm pretty sure he's probably going to troll and mess around like he usually does, but I'm all for it in that way. It's pretty funny seeing how he gets the crowd going and all that stuff. So I don't mind that as well. To add on to that though, the only thing I don't really like with the whole retiring stuff is just that John Cena went out with a choke and he went out with a smile on his face. I was kind of really, the whole never give up kind of thing is kind of rough to see when that's how you go out. I don't know whose decision that was in the storytelling, but it was kind of a bummer seeing that's how his whole legacy came to an end. And then you see kind of roughly the same way. AJ Styles gets choked out, but the difference between him is that he went out where John Cena didn't. So it kind of is it's kind of, in my opinion, backwards. With John Cena's never give up stuff, like I was just saying, he should have been the one that was actually going to go out and not tap out. And then maybe AJ is the one that taps out. That's just what I think about it. Let me know what you guys think about that as well. Now on to the main event for the Royal Rumble. For the Men's Royal Rumble, I was kind of 50-50. Some parts I enjoyed, some parts I didn't. I'll be honest, I kind of fell for all the rumors and stuff of hearing Chris Jericho was going to come back during the event. Obviously he didn't. It's kind of a bummer because I enjoyed him when I was, growing up watching wrestling. So it did kind of get me and my friends a bit bummed, but I did enjoy some parts, didn't like him, so let's go over that as well. So one of the few things that stood out to me in this Rumble was actually Brock Lesnar. Obviously, he's going to be suplexing everyone he sees and all that stuff. He's going to be facing Obafemi and all that stuff, which is great. I liked how he's fighting that guy, how they're like kind of meshing with their, personas and everything. But the one thing that really messed me up is like you see Brock as this big, intimidating person, but then you see him in the middle of Jey Uso's entrance. He just gets eliminated by who? I'm pretty sure it was like Cody Rhodes and one other person, I believe, maybe LA Knight. But it wasn't even like a big like tag team kind of, we got him out, like we just got him out. I'm pretty sure they were just punching him and kind of just threw him over the rope. It was a very, like very minimal, like you didn't really give him a big push out of the ring. So it's kind of like, why even have Brock in there? I get it, star power, he's great, everyone knows him and loves him. But it's like, at least give him a proper, like elimination. Like what was that? Like, then again, I could be biased. Like I grew up watching Brock as well, and I loved him since he was always in the WWE, just going nuts and being that big powerhouse. But just for see him getting thrown out like that, like not even in the last 4 at least, like I don't know what the decision is on that, but it was kind of like, threw me off a bit. But then again, like I said, I could be biased because I always liked watching Brock Lesnar growing up. And another thing, I didn't really like how it kind of ended with Roman winning. Like I already know he's a big star as well, but it's kind of like, why not give someone else the chance to shine or get another person over for the business, right? It's like, we already know Roman's a huge person, but if he's going to have the championship belt and say after WrestleMania, how much is he really going to show up? Like nothing against the guy, but when I got back into wrestling in the last, I'd say year, roughly I said before, I maybe only seen Roman maybe a handful of times where I seen a few other people that were new to me at the time. I seen them way more in wrestling than Roman at this current time. So it's kind of like, whatever you're going to do with the belt, if he wins the belt, is he going to come back and be more, active? Is he going to be doing the same stuff now? And then he's gone for another couple months and then we are kind of like, at a standstill for the belt. So it's kind of a bit of a worry for me on like how they're going to really do this and how they're going to end this little arc, I guess you could say, with CM Punk and Roman Reigns. So I'm kind of curious how, they're really going to go about it. Kind of, could be great, could be not so great. We got to wait till WrestleMania and kind of see during the weeks how they kind of play off each other and how this direction is going to go. But as for things I did enjoy in the Rumble, there actually is a few things I enjoyed in the Men's Royal Rumble as well. One person that actually stood out to me in this part of the event was actually Javon Evans. Not just because he's so like, it seems so positive and cheerful, which is great, I don't mind that, who doesn't, right? But just seeing like how he's doing all these spins and jumps and he's so energetic and he's doing all these crazy things, you're kind of just sitting there and it's like, what is going on? How is he doing this? And how is he doing this for 10, 20, 30 plus minutes, however long he was in the Rumble? But just seeing him as, I guess he is a new face, I imagine. Maybe he has an NXT past or whatever his past is, but he's still pretty young. I'm pretty sure he's like 21, maybe 22. I'm not sure how his mic skills are exactly, but at least his in-ring skills are like way up there, at least to me, just by seeing how he's just jumping around, doing all these moves. So yeah, I'm actually excited to kind of see how he's going to progress in his career since he is fairly young, right? There's also another thing that stood out. I'm not sure where this guy came from as well. Maybe it was the AAA wrestling company, I believe it's called, where he's seen all these luchadors and stuff. But I seen Mr. Iguana and you see, his little gimmick with his suit, and you got the iguana there and stuff. It was just a kind of little funny segment within the Rumble. You're seeing Damian Priest chokeslam him and the iguana, and you just see him, he's just frozen in there, and you're like, okay, what's happening? Is he gonna react? Is he gonna sell? And he's just standing still there in shock of the choke slam for a good probably 5 or 10 seconds. I know it's like a little detail there, but kind of stood out and gave me a chuckle while I was watching the Rumble. And I'd say the last thing that stood out for me in the Rumble was actually someone new as well. I know I keep saying people that are new, but forgive me, it's been a bit since I've been watching wrestling. Like I've been keeping up a little bit, but I haven't really been keeping up on the AEW scene, NXT and so forth. It's just been mainly Raw, just because SmackDown's kind of hard for me to make during my life right now. It's Friday night. But anyways, Royce Keys, he was also standing out. I believe he's called Powerhouse Hobbs. I'm not too sure what wrestling, brand he came from, but just seeing like this massive figure, like this big guy, like I think he's like 5'10", 5'11", maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, but all muscle, everything, just muscling everyone around, throwing and flipping guys, where like just doing all these throws, and it's like you can see the explosiveness. You're like, holy crap, I haven't seen this probably since what, like Lesnar when he was younger, maybe a few other like powerhouse wrestlers. But just seeing like his persona and how he's like with the power and everything, it kind of stood out to me. And I actually do enjoy, like, you know, seeing a powerhouse wrestler, because like who doesn't, right? Like, don't get me wrong, high flyers are fun to watch because they do amazing acrobatic stuff in the ring. But when you see, like, you know, this big wrestler, strong and doing all these like powerful slams, you're like, oh crap, like who's gonna beat this guy, right? There's so many wrestlers. Don't get me wrong, all these wrestlers are strong, no matter if they're like a guy that's 5'10" or 6'8", 6'9", whatever, right? But just seeing how he's moving around, how explosive and quick he is to the point and slams, it's like, wow, okay, like let's see what this guy has in the next, you know, few weeks. Maybe he's signed to is he signed to Raw or SmackDown now? I don't really know the whole thing with him as of yet, since I am like fairly new to him as well. But I am excited to see how he progresses and how his storyline goes within WWE in the next few weeks, if he is in WWE. Anyways, guys, that's it for the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you agree with what I said, did you disagree? Let me know why. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.